In today's episode, I wanted to share a few sales lessons that I've learned on selling things for $10, selling things for $100, selling things for $1,000, and even selling things over $10,000 just based on my own experience with my business and my side hustles that I've done. And hopefully you guys take something from this. All right.
Welcome to UndocuStartup by Juan Maya Hernandez.
All right, so how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of UndocuStartup, where I share the biggest lessons that I've been learning, building the #1 entrepreneurship program for undocumented students. If you're new here, my name is Juan Maya Hernandez. I'm the founder of UndocuStartup, where we are the leading entrepreneurship program for undocumented students. Now, the first lesson is you have to understand who your customer is. What does this mean, right? You need to understand what is their budget. You need to understand where are they located. You got to understand the demographics, the psychographics. What are their belief systems? What are their biggest problems? And the only way that you find that out is just by asking questions when you actually have a meeting with them. Number 2, all right, follow up until you get a response. So it's taken me around 7 to 8 follow-ups to land the biggest contract I've landed to date. All right. And this is something that personally for me is uncomfortable to do. All right. It's uncomfortable reaching out 2-3 times a week for this same person that may not be responding, but you have to understand that some people are busy. You have to understand that sometimes things take time, especially with me during the summer. It's a slow sort of season, but I've had to follow up 7 times. I've had to follow up via email. I had to follow up via a text message. All right. Next lesson is you want to get to the point where you are charging full-time pricing. What does that mean? If you ever want to make your business full-time, you have to start thinking that way and you have to start charging full-time prices, right? So if you understand that your monthly expenses are around $2,000, $3,000 just to be able to live, you have to put a pricing that is going to help you get there. You see, when I was a student, and when you're just doing this as a side hustle, and this is just my experience, when I was charging $15 for a headshot photography as a student, that's cool and all, but it wasn't even enough to pay for my gas. It was not enough for that, right? Think about it. If my monthly expenses are $2,000 and I'm charging $10 per my service, that's not really something that I can do, right? Because I would need to do a lot of volume a month to be able to make those $2,000, right? Whereas if you start thinking about how can I increase the value of my offer? How can I increase the value of my service so that I am able to make those $2,000 with 2 clients, or I'm able to land 1 client that can pay me those $2,000, then you're talking about something else. Next lesson, and this one's important. If you have an offer or a service that can benefit 2 to 3 people in the same industry, all right, because I've used this. Let's say you have a certain price and you find that you can still get that payment if you split the cost between other people. I introduced graduation photography for 4 students, a group of 4 students, a 1-2 group offer. And I told them that it was going to be $700 for a group of 4. They can split it between 4 people. They wanted the same results, but they just wanted to split the cost. And at the end of the day, to them, it looks cheaper because it's 4 of them splitting the cost. But really, I was the one making $700 in the same amount of time. Right, so that's another sales lesson that I've learned. If you can find a way to do payment plans, if you can find a way to split the cost between multiple people that want the same thing, so you can still get the full price, all right, then you can just group them into one. So that's the other lesson. Now, the last 2 lessons that I'll share right here is I focus on profit, not revenue. Figure out how you can get 70% or more of profit. Right? If we're talking about definition, profit is the amount of money that you have left over after all the expenses have been paid. Let's say you charge $10, your expenses are $7, your profit is going to be $3 left, right? But you want to be in a position when you can have 50% or 70% of profit, because that is going to give you enough room to save for yourself and for the business, to be able to pay your taxes, to be able to pour back money into your operations to grow the company. All right. So try to aim for 50-70% of profit within your business. You can add bonuses to your business, right? A bonus is just an additional add-on to make your offer appear much more valuable than when somebody's doing. So for example, right, when you buy a Happy Meal at McDonald's, if it's a total of $5, but you get everything. You get a lot of good stuff, right? You get some chicken nuggets, you get some fries, you get some apple slices, you get a toy. That's a no-brainer, right? For $5, you're like, that's cool. Right, so by focusing on profit, you're gonna be making more money. The next one is to offer a guarantee. Right, the biggest thing that has worked for me so far this year is that I've offered guarantees that I didn't do last year. Right, a guarantee is just make it a no-brainer for them to work with you. I learned this from a specific book. I can't name the book, but in that book, they're talking about make it a no-brainer for them to work for you. What does that mean? Offer a 30-day money-back guarantee if they're not satisfied. Now, although that puts a lot of risk on your business, that also puts you at that level in terms of being able to fulfill that service at that price. All right. So now I offer a 30-day guarantee. If they're not satisfied with the service, I can offer them a refund, or I could do another service for them again. And that's what has been working on, at least this year, that I did not implement last year. And the last lesson as we wrap up this video is to always do 3 things. All right. These are the main 3 things that I've been focusing on to grow my UndocuStartup business. The first one is getting new clients. You always got to have new clients in the door. Again, this comes from a book that I read, and it's really true, right? Getting new clients. What does that mean? It means you need to continue posting on social media or figure out what is your marketing channel and continue doing those actions to find new people to find out about who you actually are. New clients. You also want to focus on working with clients that have already worked with you. So getting repeat clients. The way that I've done this year is just reaching out to them, emailing them, connecting with people that I've already worked with, and letting them know if they'd be interested in a service this year. All right. So that's the second thing you want to do. And then the third thing is you want to figure out how can you get them to pay you more money, right? And one of the things that I started implementing even when I was doing photography is just increasing the volume of whatever it is that they're selling. All right. So instead of them buying once, why don't they buy twice? So you can increase the quantity, or you could also increase the quality of what you are doing. So quality would be, okay, these are all these other add-ons. These are all the things that I can do for you. We can work for a little bit more time. Maybe we have a premium option. Maybe you have a basic option. We have a medium option. And like that, you'll be able to get more sales too. And again, this is just based on my experience that those strategies have worked down the line as well. So hopefully you guys found a little bit of value in this video in the car. And if you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you're listening to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, follow the podcast. All right. And remember, be motivated and stay motivated, baby. I'll talk to you soon.
Welcome to UndocuStartup by Juan Maya Hernandez.